This video will introduce how to use input conditional logic with the MyArmy plugin. Place the crowd agents, and you can see some attributes for them in the Details panel, such as the agent's ID and their current state. In the logic array, add a new set of logic elements, and within these logic elements, add new elements to the decision input array. The noise ID is a value held by each agent, differently ranging from 0 to 1. It will trigger execution behavior when it meets the input condition. The current logic input is, if the agent's noise ID value is within the range of 0 to 0.5 that I've set, and if this condition is met, execute the output logic to hide itself. You can select an agent and view the noise ID value in its Details panel. Next, run the simulation to observe the result. You'll notice that if an agent character's noise ID value falls within the range from 0 to 0.5, they hide themselves. Modify the previous noise ID logic to another one, like check whether the agent is playing a specific animation. Just replace the question mark with the name of the animation clip you want to check. The logic for playing animation supports using the vertical line to add multiple animation clip names, allowing for random choice. Next, run the simulation to observe the result. You'll notice that if an agent is currently playing the jog animation, they hide themselves as per the logic. To facilitate the demonstration, let's temporarily remove the translate-related execution logic and replace it with logic for matching the terrain. If you are using logic to match the terrain, in the global settings, you can disable the agent character's self-gravity to prevent execution conflicts. After changing global settings parameters, it's a good practice to place the agent again to ensure they're using the latest parameter updates. Run the simulation to observe the result. Go back to the agent blueprint and add a new condition that the agent must satisfy both of these conditions at the same time for the same hierarchy execution logic to run. When the running frame count is greater than the number you've filled in for the question mark, the condition will meet. Run the simulation. You'll notice that agent characters hide themselves if they are currently playing the jog animation and the frame count exceeds 100, as per the logic. Clear the agents, and replace the agent blueprint with the version containing physical assets for the next demonstration. Find the new agent blueprint, and double-click to open the blueprint. Above the current physics execution logic level, add an input conditional element. For the input conditional logic, add logic that checks if the agent is within a specific bound space. Find the animation montage asset currently used by the agent blueprint. Double-click to open it, and right-click to navigate to the specific animation asset you want to use. If the animation asset includes translate value, you can enable the root motion option. This way, the execution logic will retain the animation translate data. Go back to the animation montage asset you are using, select the animation clip you want to use, and copy the name of that clip. In the agent blueprint, add a new logic element. Leave the input condition empty, and in the execution logic, add the command to play an animation, pasting the name in the place of the question mark. Run the simulation to observe the logic execution result. You should see the agent playing an animation with root motion translate. Go back to the agent blueprint and add an output execution logic for random animation playback speed. Set the random range from 0.5 to 1.5. Run the simulation to watch the logic execution result. You should see that the agent's animation playback speed is randomized. Click on My Army and create bound to bring a box blueprint in the current project directory. Drag and drop the box into the scene and adjust its size and color as needed. Move the box to the desired position. Do you still remember the input bound condition we added? Double-check it, and then run the simulation to see the current result. Agents should activate physics when they enter the bound. Select the box, hold down the Alt key, and drag it to create a duplicated one. Adjust it to the appropriate position and change the box's ID to make it easier to differentiate in the logic. Go back to the agent blueprint and modify the previous condition that checks if the agent is within the bound. Change it to only satisfy the command when inside the bound with an ID of 1. Add a new set of logic elements. Set the input condition logic to only meet the condition within the bound with an ID of 2, and set the output execution logic to hide the character. The logic with two conditions is as follows: when inside the bound with an ID of 1, execute physical simulation. When inside the bound with an ID of 2, hide themselves. Finally, run the simulation to verify if the result matches the logic as desired.